Okay, first thing first, to optimize the photos you are going to take to create your model, it is important to understand the basics of the photogrammetry. The software is going to search the same overlapping areas or points in the different pictures you fed in. Based on that, it will be able to recreate a 3D position of each of these areas, point per point. From these point clouds, it will then generate a mesh on which the photos are going to be projected as a texture. Something which is not in the pictures will obviously not being reconstructed in 3D. So make sure you are covering all the needed areas. Also, when shooting your object, you need to make sure that each part of the object will appear in at least 2 or more photos from different angles. You need a fair amount of overlap between images to make sure the software will be able to reconstruct the 3D model properly. You basically want to go all around your subject with an average incremental angle of 15 degrees. Also, you need to take pictures under the subject and on the top of it. Try to frame your subject the best way you can. It will be better for the calculation, but as well to recreate a high-resolution texture. If you need an overall model and then an accurate texture, you can first take large photos and then do some close-ups for the texture of certain areas, like I did on the face here. Now, another really important point is the lighting of your scene. You want your lighting to be as flat as possible. You don't want to have strong shadows and too bright parts. A strong contrast will make the point detection harder. As well, think that your shadows are going to be baked in your texture. So if you want to use that in a production shot, it will be harder to relight. For that reason, when capturing outside, it works better under a cloudy sky as the light is way softer than during a sunny day. If you shoot inside, try to have a soft light as well, evenly distributed. You can use soft boxes, for instance. Your lighting shouldn't move either, because the material of your object needs to look the same under different camera angles. If the light moves, it will change the aspect of the object on the photos, and it may affect the result. Some materials don't work with photogrammetry, like glass, shiny metal, basically any reflective or transparent object, because these objects will look different from different angles, so the software won't be able to recognize the different areas from the different points of view, as they won't look the same. Now, talking about the environment around you, your background should be totally still. Moving objects in the background could impact the 3D reconstruction, so make sure your background has no moving car, tree leaves, or people passing by, for instance. Also, you want your photos to be perfectly sharp, no blurry depth of field, and no motion blur. Last but not least, you want your model to be perfectly still. If it's an object, you won't have any trouble regarding that. However, if you try to capture a human being or an animal, your subject must not move, and trust me, this is super hard. If you are the subject, keep a low breath, gaze at one fixed point, and do your best. If the subject moves, start over. There is no chance it's going to work. When shooting someone, try to be as quick as possible, use the burst mode of your camera, and start taking a picture of the face and areas where it's hard to remain still. You will have later a little bit more time, for example, to take pictures of the back. A proper configuration of your camera will really help you to increase your chances. Shutter speed, aperture, ISO, white balance, we're going to talk about all that in the next clip.